If you can walk, you can fight. All your diseases must be forgotten. In Russia, the mobilized men are already openly told that absolutely everyone is taken to the front line, despite their restricted suitability.
If there are those who have vertebral hernias, plates in the heads, and so on and so forth, as far as doctors at medical board told me, this is a category restricted suitable for military service. This means that you are called up during the mobilization and you are still subject to it, so don't tell me that you cannot do it. I cannot do it too. I also have hernias, problems with my knees and everything else.
In Moscow, a summons has been sent even to a person with autism and schizophrenia who had been assigned the first group of disability since childhood. He can't talk or even take care of himself, so he didn't even go to school. Throughout Russia, there are also cases of mobilization of people who have cancer, parents with many children, and people over 60 years old. The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine notes. At the same time, the Russian military commissars justify themselves. Those mobilized by mistake are often to blame themselves.
There is a lot of indignation from the fact that the summons are received by citizens who have the right to deferment. This is possible as a result of the fact that citizens themselves did not fulfill their military registration obligations. They did not inform the military commissariat about changes in their marital status, about changing jobs. Part of the staff of enterprises and organizations did not inform the military commissariat about the appointment of citizens to positions subject to reservation.
Another military commissar let slip they were not given any restrictions on age and level of military training.
At the moment, there are no rank restrictions for the recruitment office of the city of Nazarov.
Do you mean age restrictions?
Yes. Also not conscripting citizens who have not completed military service and are somehow not prepared. We do not have this issue here either.
To avoid mobilization, many Russians deliberately break their limbs. And in Moscow, many who are subject to conscription even ask to infect them with human immunodeficiency viruses, HIV, in order not to go to the front line.
Yesterday, I was in a service center for the prevention and treatment of HIV. I was checked prophylactically. The doctors there said that they had begun to receive calls with a request to infect with HIV, just not to be mobilized. No panic. Seva Galkin, director.
Many of those who did not manage to avoid mobilization now refuse to be sent to the front line, but they are terrorized.
We were warned that conditions of being here would be even worse. As of today, times of using the toilet have already been reduced. They promised not to give water or food at all. In general, they are deciding to close us here for longer.
The conditions of staying are not much better for those mobilized people who did not refuse to fight.
No beds, nothing. Guys, you are not visible for camera, just your legs. Let's go further. There are no beds in this room. Here's some kind of rigmarole. Here we've peeled up some firewood. We do it by ourselves. This is how we were met in Vladivostok. Some 5th Battalion had to meet us, but refused to do so. The checkpoint is closed. We are behind the checkpoint. We sleep where we can, on the grass, on the road.
And in the Samara region, the mobilized men have been left to freeze in the forest since there was nowhere to place them.
There is a fireplace. There, further, everywhere in the forest belt, we burn everything.
Meanwhile, in the Altai region, the newly drafted soldiers were warned that they would not be given anything except uniforms and assault rifles. They will not give the recruiters even a first aid kit, and they've been asked to take care of everything by themselves. Take first aid kits from your cars. Take tourniquets from there. Now, guys, don't laugh. Ask your wives, girls, mothers to give you pads. The cheapest pads plus the cheapest tampons. Do you know what tampons are for? A bullet wound, just put it in there and that's it. It begins to swell and press down the walls of wounds. Military experts note that sending unprepared, poorly equipped and restricted suitable Russians to the front line will lead to a huge increase in losses among newly drafted fighters in the near future. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Natalia Voloshyna, UATV News.